Okay, in the Scottish Rite Research Society publication, Herdum, for 1999-2000, Volume 8, Jim Tressner has a really good article on an actual lecture, a St. John's Day lecture that was lost, that was discovered, of Albert Pike, a rediscovered speech. And I just want to give you a quick, I'm just going to basically read his conclusion. It's a long article. It's a wonderful article. Anything by Jim Tressner, trust me, read. He's good. He's very fun. He is describing the essence of Masonry. It's not for the lazy. Freemasonry is a way of life. It's an attitude. It's actually an attitude I've had most of my life. We don't get to live very long, and so make the most of it. You only get out of life what you put in, physically, mentally, spiritually, in all ways. So do your best. No, you're not always going to finish every project. No, you're not going to get everything done all the time. No, you're not always going to be able to help everyone you want to. Do your best, and don't beat yourself up for having failings. It's an attitude. It is the same thing with our Freemason fraternity. And I love how Albert Pike, and I know he's controversial. I'm well aware that Albert Pike is not well liked by some people, and that's irrelevant. Listen to the message. Don't worry about the messenger at this point. This message is timely. This shows Freemasonry is relevant. You know the recent author of the book Who's Afraid of the Freemasons? I can't think of his name right off, but he basically gives an impression that Freemasonry isn't even relevant in the world. Man, if the world needs anybody right now, it is we Freemasons, as long as we have the attitude that Pike elaborates on. And he said this way back when? Way back in the 1800s. But listen to some of these ideas. I really like some of these ideas. Remember that whatever act, even the slightest, that you do towards having an influence for good, even if it will never be apparent to yourselves, is a good act. He's saying this on page 163. It's always visible to God. So it doesn't matter if anyone else sees what you do for the good and betterment of the world or for someone in the world. It's not about receiving a reward and making yourself better than everyone else. It is pure service for service sake. It is being the best of humanity. Interesting. Well, a great thought, written or spoken, is a great power, and words result as mysterious and incomprehensible as the creation of things by the deity. As mysterious and your lodge may educate a poor boy who may come to command armies, to lead senates, to shape the destiny of an entire country. Your lodge can have this effect. Who are you but to have lived and died unhonored and unknown? Oh, except he doesn't say who are you, he says who but for you. If it wouldn't have been for your influence, they might have died in obscurity. Be a good influence for good sake, is what he's saying. Masonry is work. I love this. Every lodge and every Mason can do something for the general good. Absolutely every day is what I would add. If he will but work and try. Laborar est orar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but said the old maxim, to labor is to pray. Now that's awesome. Ponder that. To labor is to pray. Because when you're in the service of God, service of your fellow man, that's tough stuff. That's good stuff. The heroes of the old legend of the eternal struggle between light and darkness were God's kings and warriors. But the hero of the Masonic legend is the working man, an artificer, the son of a poor woman, but skilled worker in brass and iron, wood and purple and linen. Raised by his virtues to be the peers of kings, he was, our tradition declares, as high of a Masonic rank as King Solomon and Hiram the tyrant monarch. On page 164, the concept is the true secret of the prosperity and the influence and the continuance of Masonry is that we labor for a bigger cause than for ourselves. The picture in a Freemason's mind is larger than just what can I get out of it. That is a very narrow thinking. To labor, to work, it can mean physical. It can also mean spiritual. It can also mean mental. It can mean learning in order to turn around and share. It can mean going out and finding a way to physically help someone who is incapable of physically helping themselves. It can mean helping someone out monetarily. There is a trillion ways to work if you but develop the attitude of finding them to help someone's life. Man, this is Freemasonry. Sincerely, this is the brotherhood. This is the point. Yes, we take care of our own. Make no mistake about it. But we also care and take care of the world as we can also. So this is very interesting. The wages, we wage unrelenting war as Freemasons against ignorance, superstition, oppression, continual temporal and spiritual oppression, and all that is base and wrong and brutal in the world. So you can see we've got our work cut out for us, but that's what we fight. We fight for freedom of thought, freedom of religion, freedom of living free. Take away the brutality of the world. That's what we're about. Well, we shall pass away and be gathered to our fathers, but others behind us and beyond us will carry on the work of Freemasonry. That's why she continues. The relevance is very powerful. We're here to stay because there's so much good we can do if we will but open our eyes, look, and do it. That's Freemasonry right there. So Pike very powerfully says, we are against evil. We are against the negative influences. And it takes good men. It takes good men to carry on this war. And we have them in Freemasonry. And like Paul Alexander has told me, my chaplain in my lodge, actually he wrote an article in the Idaho Lodge of Research, we want men of faith, not faithless, because faith propels you to action. That's what we're after. A better world. That's what it's all about, guys.